Hi, and welcome to Money Management. Today, we're going to be talking about ways to control your money so it doesn't control you. So, make sure you have something to write with and some paper so you can take notes because you're going to have assignments and a quiz following a presentation. So, let's get started. How smart are you with managing your money? What is one thing you would like to accomplish in regard to money management? Your first step toward money management is identifying your goals, what you want to get done. Some goals are short term, like this week, this month, or this year. This might be enough money to buy groceries for the week, shoes for your children, or a new coat. Some are for later, 1 to 3 years, such as paying off a credit card debt. Other goals are for the future, perhaps 5 years and beyond. It might include savings for college for your children or buying your own house. 8 out of every 10 Americans use a budget for their money, and 65% of these Americans have no ideas how much money they spent last month. Do you know how much you spent last month? Going to the gas station and buying a soda from the fountain machine 3 times a week for a month is $21.48. And how much would you spend on those same 12 sodas if you bought them from the grocery store or dollar store? Budgeting seems like it's overwhelming, especially when you feel like there is more month than money. But not making a plan for your money can actually be more stressful and overwhelming, especially when an emergency pops up out of nowhere. Have you ever thought about budgeting your money? Have you ever tried to follow a budget? Was it helpful or hard for you? Budgeting is about choices, choosing how to make money and choosing how to spend money. We're going to help you with some of the basics of budgeting. And when you've completed this module, you're going to be able to understand the difference between needs and wants. And we'll show you what ways are there to make a personal budget and talk about the differences between them a little. So before we go over the ways to budget, let's talk about the fact that life and money are linked. And your personal values are factored into your financial strategy. Have you ever put the pursuit of money ahead of your personal values? It's very easy, if you're focused merely on money, to miss the opportunity, the possibility of living your life as defined by your values. And even though life requires money, money is not the end. It is merely the means to the end. Being able to live your life according to what is important to you is the end. The primary significance of money is to what degree it allows you to enjoy what's really important to you. Money can either help you or prevent you from accomplishing that. Setting goals is critical to taking control of our lives and our money. Let's talk about the needs and the wants. We're bombarded daily by advertisements telling us what we need. But all that does is it makes it hard for us to distinguish between needs and wants. Needs are basic for your survival. Wants are desirable to make your life more comfortable. We need hydration. Water is basic for that. That's a need for water. But we want coffee and tea and pop. That's a want. We could survive on water. There are two parts to personal spending and saving plan. Income and spending must balance each other. You should not be spending more money than you have. And income is any money you have coming in. And it's always limited, which means the money you're spending is limited too. Some expenses are the same every time. These are fixed expenses. This might be a car payment or rent. Other expenses are flexible or adjustable, and you control how much you spend. The first step to budgeting your money is to make a list of what your income sources are and how often they come in and their amount. The next is to make a list of expenses you have, when they're due, and how much they are. If they're not fixed amounts, put an estimate closest to the largest amount you have paid. For example, if your electric bill is different every month, look at the last year and put the amount that you spent the most as your budget item. So, where does your money go? It's critical to understand where your money goes. And knowing what your income and expenses are every month will help you take control of your financial situation. Taking control of your financial situation helps reduce the anxiety of not knowing whether you have the money to pay your bills when they're due. It's important to have a sense of control over money rather than letting money control you. Budgeting will help you reach your goals, which will improve the quality of life for you and your family. One good way to know where your money is going is to keep a small notebook and a pen with you and write down when you spend the money and what it was spent on. After 2 weeks or so, you'll be able to see where your money is going and what changes may be needed on how you're spending it. Most of us have established spending habits. We've done them for so long, we don't think we can change. But this is a critical moment. It's time to start living within our means, which means that the money coming in has to be less than the money going out. And that might mean making changes, some of which might be painful. Saying no to a child that we don't want to disappoint, or giving up something we wanted for something our child needs. Many times when people start budgeting, they begin using coupons in an effort to save money. If you have a coupon for something and you're never going to use it, it's not going to save you money to spend it, to use it. And there's also the pitfall of buying wholesale and price drops. If it's not something you use, it's not saving you money. There's no budget. That is the end all of budgeting. And sometimes you may use a mixture of several different methods or come up with your own. If you are new to the budgeting, choose the budget type that makes the most sense to you and that seems to fit your lifestyle best. The important part is to spend less than you make and try to build a savings so when an emergency comes, you have the help of the fund. It's suggested that you have $1,000 or amount equal to 3 months of your living expenses put back in savings as a safety net. There are many fears, I am sure, that are running through your mind right now, and even doubts that you can live on the income you have right now, let alone budget it. And many people have those same fears. I can't promise you implementing a budget will be easy, but I can promise you that it's going to be worth it. I've heard it said before that we spend money we don't have to impress people we don't even like. And I think that rings true for a lot of us. We want to feel like people think we're important, and we feel like spending money is how they're going to do that. What are some other fears that you think people face when it comes to money? These are 7 of the most common. The biggest fear is that we don't have enough money and probably never will. And we feel that we'll work hard our entire lives and have nothing to show for it. 2, I don't know what I would do if I had plenty of money. Believe it or not, many of us have this underlying fear that what would happen if we actually did have money? And it's usually not a conscious fear. We daydream about what we'd do with billions of dollars. However, we're scared we wouldn't actually know what to do with it. 3, I can't understand money. Many people fear that money is complicated and they'll never be able to understand it. They want someone else to deal with it. You really can understand finances if you work on it. Start small and work every week to learn a little bit more. Having responsibility for other people's money, that happens a lot with aging parents. And it's really scary to have to make that decision that maybe you're not making the right decision with their money. But if you make sure that you're looking at everything and you're writing it down, you'll be able to take care of it. My money represents something important about me. Too many people gain a sense of personal value from the money they earn and for the money they don't earn. And people have a lot of fears about how others will see them because of money. Determine what you think is important to have in your life, regardless of how much it costs. I will lose my job and not be able to earn money. This is a very common fear, and one that is especially prevalent since our economy and our society is going through the things that it is. And we may be stuck in jobs we hate, or we may be afraid that our job isn't secure. But if we come up with a financial plan, we can take the worst case. There is something wrong with talking about money. People still think there's something wrong about talking about money. But if you have somebody you can trust to talk about your concerns about your finances and budgeting, absolutely nothing wrong for getting that extra help. Here's some resources for budgeting your money. It's just to help you get started, and you don't have to use any of these. And you can actually just use a notebook and write down your income and list your expenses. And if you have access to a computer, Microsoft Word and Excel has templates to help you write this down and organize it. Your most important needs should always be subtracted from your income first. This would be food, shelter, clothes, transportation. I know your instructor would be glad to help with any of the questions we've not covered in this presentation, so don't hesitate to ask. I know right now you feel like you aren't receiving enough money to even bother doing a budget, but I promise you that it is important to start now when you have less, because when you start getting more income, you will already have a working budget and you'll be able to be telling all of your money where to go, and you won't have to wonder where it went. So what's next? Make sure you check your notes and that they're complete. You might want to watch this presentation again. There's a lot of information. Complete the assignments in the module and complete your module quiz. And as always, any questions, please contact your instructor.